Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Order. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this discussion is evolutionary psychology. I got this title listening to YouTube. It was a woman on there called herself Tanya TKO, and she used that phrase in response to this guy's rationale to justify his womanizing. And she said that she's passionate about evolutionary psychology. And I said, that was a pretty interesting phrase. And it made me think when the field of psychology first started, and when you look at it today, you can see how the tactics and strategies evolved over time. So today you should be able to diagnose a person's mental defect at an earlier stage, get them treatment earlier, get them back into mental alignment, and get them back function as a productive member of society sooner than you would have earlier. And I said, wouldn't it be nice if we could use these same evolutionary practices that we've learned over time and apply them to a social movement? Then it hit me. The same tactics and strategies we used back in the 60s is the same failed tactics and strategies we use in today. We learned nothing from history. We marched and protested then, we marching and protesting now, and we are still no closer to our goal. I look at it like this. When I was a child, if you talked about my mama, you better be ready to fight. But today, as a parent, the last thing I want my children to come home telling me they got into a fight because of what somebody said about their mom and daddy. I would tell them that whatever this boy said or girl said, it is not going to change your parents whatsoever. However we feel about you, you feel about us, it's not going to change no matter what these people say. They cannot speak nothing into creation. And I would embark onto them. It is not what somebody calls you that's important. It is what you respond to. You see, from a child to an adult, my reasons for fighting now evolve over time. They change. We have got to apply this same practice to our social movement. Whatever our goals or ambitions are, whatever means we use to achieve them must change over time. We should have stopped marching and protesting years ago. Our goals and reasons for marching and protesting should have evolved over time. Because whatever reason that we had to march and protest, they were valid. But the problem is that they wasn't ambitious enough. So what you may have wanted in the beginning, and when you see it today and look back, you could say we shortchanged ourselves. We should have been way more aggressive in our approach, way more greedy in what we sought to accomplish. You know, we wanted equality. What kind of goal is that? How can you be equal to somebody that everything you do in life, they got to give you permission to do? They have the authority to allow you or deny you from doing it. How do you be equal to people like that? If we don't take ownership and control over our institutions, so we can have determination on how we live, there is no equality. They can do or say whatever they want. They can call you slave if they want to. Because as long as we have the mindset that however we put food on our table, we got to do something for Whitey. How do you combat that? By taking ownership and control over your own institutions. If we can support businesses that provide for us, then we can build these same businesses to provide for us. If you was marching and protesting the business 50 years ago and getting hungry, and then your hunger is a weapon to end this protest, your thirst becomes a weapon to end this protest, your family being hungry is a weapon to end this protest, then over time, it should have evolved. Why can't we protest by building the same businesses that didn't deserve our business in the first place? So that we can eat and drink and keep it moving and don't take our business back to these people. Why has that not been the goals and ambition of these so-called civil rights leaders? Because they constantly want you to keep running back. And if we use the same evolutionary psychology approach, then will we march and protest over time? Now, when we march and protest, or when we show our dissent, we don't take our business back to these people. We don't negotiate with them. We build our own businesses and institutions. And we determine our way of life. We don't have to be allowed or seek the allowance from anybody to do anything. You know, instead of working for the interests of others, now we work for our own interests. Wouldn't that show the maturation process of this social agenda, of any social agenda? You cannot do what you did 50, 60 years ago and still practice it today and think you're going to get anything different. You know, instead of fighting the system with the march, fighting the system with the protest, over time, shouldn't you have learned the only way to fight a system is with your own system? And how do you get your own system? By coming together, discussing what's important, what's crucial to you. Realizing that whites have their levels of love and understanding, and we have our levels of love and understanding. And our livelihood should not be based on what whites feel it should be, how much they feel we deserve, how frequent we should get it. They should be determined by us. Governing ourselves, taking ownership and control over our own institutions. This is how you fight a system with a system. Then we can pass down our accomplishments to our children instead of passing down our problems. Our children should not be marching and protesting today what we were marching and protesting for 50, 60 years ago. That makes no freaking sense. I'm going to end this video by saying this. If whatever you're doing in life, you find peace, then there's no cause for you to leave. Stay. But if what you're doing in life, you find no peace, then no one can blame you for wanting to leave. And right now, I find no peace in this way of life. I see how hard it is for me, and I imagine it's being harder for my son. I'm watching them turn men into women, women into men. And if they're doing that today, what are they going to be doing 20 years from now? I had a friend of mine. She sent me a video of this little girl explaining her two parents, her two moms. Talking about it's real simple. I call one mom and I call the other one mommy. I said, you call that simple? Wouldn't it be simple to have two parents, one you call mom and the other one you call dad? Why you call one mom mom and the other mother mommy? But because my mom gave my mommy the egg, and they got a little tadpole looking thing from somebody else, and they put it in my mom. That's the simple explanation. Wouldn't it be better to say that your mother met your father, and in their union, I was placed in my mama's belly and I came out 9 months? Wouldn't that be a lot easier to explain than this BS? Having children rationalize the homosexual lifestyle. Like, I'm not confused. Yes, you are confused. You a child trying to explain two gay women raising you, then adopting other kids. I don't want to see myself living in this system, and I definitely don't want to see my children, my nieces, my nephews living in this system. And if you want to get out of it, I cannot get out of this on my own. But liking and sharing this video, subscribing to this channel, you will learn the keys on how to get out. And then we can get out together. So, as I said, if you like this message, please share it. And with this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I will see you in my next message. Ashe.